This conference will now be recorded.
The recorder's up and running. All right, as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only. Nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so back to what we were talking about. September, I mean, just kind of flew by. We have one more week coming left in it. One thing to remember, we have Traders Exchange tomorrow at 12:30. Let's make sure that today we are thinking about exactly what we want to talk about, and we make sure that we send our questions and topics that we're going to be talking about to TE at aheadofthecharts.com. And let's talk about what's going on this morning. So first of all is CRON. I know a lot of people on Friday, we're a little bit worried with it, and it wasn't moving as fast as we would like. But you know what? Sometimes that's going to happen, especially on a Friday when a lot of times we see things go into consolidation pretty early, and we don't really get those extended moves throughout the afternoon. Looking into it this morning, I mean, just absolutely beautiful move all the way down to right above 1150. So I wasn't a big fan that it didn't hit 1150 and went back up. That showed us a trigger to that upside. But then we hit a little bit of a resistance point, and we're kind of sitting there. One thing I do love about it is if we look over here. Yesterday on Friday at 6:30, right around 6 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a weird time to see prints come in like this. We got some really big sells that came in at that 1250 point, and we know we have a ton of selling that was still at that 12 level. So what that tells us is that this move is not going to be over. The amount of selling that we saw coming into the 12 level, I just highly, highly doubt that they were going to do that to make 50 or so cents. So keep that in mind as we come into this morning. Nothing too crazy yet. I mean, we got a little bit of selling coming into there, but even on this move down, we could see the volume was just very, very low. So overall, we still know where it needs to go, but I'm not convinced on this move down that there was enough volume really pushing it. Okay, but we're going to come back down to that 1150 from what it looks like. Remember, this double bottom is going to act as pretty much a magnet to bring it there. So we just need some more information. Okay, we know overall where it has to go. We just want to see some confirmation that what's going to happen this morning, and we're not going to see some type of ride back up towards that top. Oh, man, TLRY, you want to talk about a fall from grace. So from 300, and we are back near that 100 level, which is just absolutely incredible. Another one that we're going to be watching until the range changes, because look, I mean, on Friday moved $27.37, which is another just absolutely incredible. So there's a lot of money to be made there. Just make sure that you get, we want to see a real definitive show of hand. I'm not talking about one or two prints. I want to see a burst come into this before I'm even going to be thinking about trading it, because it gets nuts, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of that one. So once again, we're just going to need a better show of hand to come in there, for us to really be able to do anything. So about Facebook for a second. So Facebook, I know I posted an article on Friday, Friday night, that I guess that they're going to be looking into it for breaking some discriminatory rules. The links all up at the top if you want to scroll back up, or you just go in the search bar and put Facebook. But we can see it definitely took a little bit of a hit over the weekend. Okay, closed here at 162.93. We're all the way down to pretty much that 160 level. Hasn't really shown anything yet. 108,000 shares, but you can see the bigger prints. There really has been almost nothing coming into this morning. One print at 160, 150, but that's not going to do anything for us. So going to need to see a little bit more there. But at the same time, we do have a lot of selling in this area. We know what the story that we're expecting on this one is as well. And let's take a look at a few other new things from this morning. So we have AMRN, which it's not really moving that great. I mean, there's a ton of volume. You can see 16 million shares, but it almost looks like a buyout, considering the fact that we have 160,000 shares sitting at 1190, and it's just kind of sitting there. Rich sees news coming before news comes out. And you know what? It's not that I see the news, it's the prints. Really, anytime that we're going to get some type of big news that's going to come out, guys, we're going to see it in the prints first. There's always someone that's ahead of a story that knows exactly what's going to end up happening. So AMRN, we'll keep an eye on it. It's not my favorite. I'm definitely going to be looking at something that, there's a little bit less consolidated and gives us a little bit more room. But even in its consolidation, it's big. Curious about Siri. Okay, I'm going to get to Siri and P in a minute. But so we'll take a look at that, but it's on the bottom of my list. Moving over to P. All right, so we can see P jumped up this morning. Apparently there's news that Siri is buying, or Siri is buying. I don't really care what the news is, but that they're going to buy Pandora. So we can see Pandora jumped up this morning, but then it came right back down to this print line. And Siri, one thing about Siri, guys, is that I've never seen a day where Siri was an actual trade. And when I say that, I mean, the orders aren't very thick right now, like we would typically see. I mean, usually you see the orders in the hundreds of thousands, a very quant stock. It's not really a good short-term trade whatsoever, but we'll keep an eye on both of these. Syria has to go on our side list, though. And the only reason I'm going to put it there is because I would love to see, I think of my entire time of trading, and maybe once did I see a time where you could actually day trade Syria. So we'll put it on our side list, but I don't have lots of confidence in it. It's, we talk about AMRN being towards the bottom of my list. Siri is even further down about that. So I haven't really seen anything this morning. I mean, there's been a lot of buying in there. But there's just not enough to really tell us anything. And the way that the stock's moving right now, even though it's a lot different than what we would usually see, I mean, on average, it moves 13 cents. I'm not sold yet. I'm going to need to see something, especially when the market opens, to tell me that, to even pay any type of attention to it. And then moving along to AMD. So AMD, we know we've been waiting for, kind of a pullback to come back into it. We see that is happening. So we're going to be waiting, just looking for this thing to go back up. I heard something about them being upgraded. Once again, I do not care. I have no interest in it whatsoever. In the news that comes out in the morning, the news, see the thing, like, the reason I don't look at the news, and most of you know this by now, is just because that it skews what I see. All right, if you hear news, you try to interpret it a certain way, but at the end of the day, we don't really know how the market's ever going to react to news. All right, so what we want to do is just make sure, as always, that we go out there, we follow our prints, and that will tell us exactly what's going to happen. Now, we have some prints at 31 on the bid, not a lot, so this definitely tells me it's looking for a shorter term move underneath that 31, and a quick one. I mean, it shouldn't take very long for that to happen. But overall, we know what our story is. We know that there's huge buying at 32, huge buying at 33, huge buying at 34. And, there's no reason we don't see this thing really, get up there within these next few days, depending on the time frame. I don't want to say next few days, but certainly soon, because it's been in this consolidation for quite some time now, and there's a ton of buying in it. So we know consolidation with a ton of buying, when that thing does take off, we're going to see a real nice move come back into that. At least, I mean, 35 being a conservative price target, I don't think it holds 35, to be completely honest with you. All right, let's take a look at our scanners. Let's see if we got anything else going on out there. I know we have a lot of stocks on them, but not really too much quality. So ACST, looking at it before, just trading like absolute garbage. I just have no interest in that. AZRX, 231,000 shares, another one. Just it's got decent volume, but just nothing really going on. XON jumped up on absolutely nothing, not doing anything. Volume's good overall, but that's about it. P, 8.5 million shares, we've already spoken about. UWT ETF, SYMC, 709,000 shares. It's not terrible, but my biggest problem is, you can see right here, I mean, there's been nothing but buying that came into this thing since pretty much it opened this morning. I just don't like its range. Its range does not typically do much whatsoever, 40 cents. And you can see it's, even with that much, it's just very, very quanty. So even though we have phenomenal buying, it's definitely going to go towards the bottom of my list as well. But there really has been nothing but there's been no selling. So keep that in mind as you're looking at it. I mean, we should definitely see a little bit of a pullback before it goes back up, but definitely to make the list just because of that fact. And then ABX, absolutely nothing. Moving over to our losers list, there's not really a ton going on over here either. NBEV, 2.3 million shares. We're taking a pretty big hit this morning. We have a few prints at 450, but I didn't really see anything too special in there. See if you could go out there and try to get shares to short on the short side, but as of right this morning, it's just it's very mixed. Even though it's moving down, 450 is definitely mixed. Any new information on MBVV? I'm still buying above, or did that satisfy? Well, the pullback overall, guys, it came up to 10. It didn't get new buying at 10. So the biggest thing right there is that we're going to need to see some new information, some new movement to come back into this to really get anything. We talked about it on Friday, asking, should I take my profit? And I said, at 10, the 10 level is a very hard level to hit. We get these cheaper stocks, and they kind of get that 5 minutes of fame, and then it kind of ends. So I don't see anything that changes that yet, but at the same, I've seen them come back. It's just where we're going to need a better show of hand, and I just don't see that yet. Next, moving along, we have TLROI, which we spoke about. IGC, I was looking at too, but it's just nothing really there for me. It's just very sporadic within its trading, just nothing, no real great show of hands. So I'm going to be focusing on other things. Cron, we already know about. NTNX. A nice move down, but overall another one where I don't see anything there that really gets me too excited. The move itself is absolutely great, but if we look, I mean, the volume per minute on this move is just garbage. It does move $2.39 each day, so it's something to look at. I am going to put it on our list, but it's got to give us a better show of hand, and it just has not done that whatsoever yet. 43.50, we have a mixed at 43, 42.50. We do have a bid print. But I need to see more than that to really tell us, what it's looking to do. Even though, once again, it is giving some prints, it's just not enough whatsoever. Then moving over to Billy, BILI, 130,000 shares. We saw this move last week, but doing absolutely nothing this morning. Siri, we've already talked about. CMCSA. I hate saying this ticker, but Comcast apparently trying to buy Sky. It's a nice burst that came in at 36.60. But other than that, it's another one. We'll keep an eye overall on it, but it's not going to make my list. Not something I'm going to be focusing on coming first in the morning. Excuse me. JD doing absolutely nothing. Decent volume, but just trading very consolidated. Better stuff for us to be looking at. CGC, same thing. Falls into the pod stocks or CGC. We're going to watch as well with Cron and TLRY. And that about does it. I don't really see too much else out there that I really care too much about. SQ. So SQ this morning is doing absolutely nothing. 38,000 shares is being traded. Overall, do I like SQ? I do. There's nothing nothing here that would make me pay any attention to it compared to the other stocks that we have out there. All right. Anything else out there that I missed? Well, PayPal I didn't miss because it literally has done nothing. 5,600 shares, nothing going on there whatsoever. I still like PayPal to the upside. Nothing has changed, but there's just nothing for that to make our morning list. All right, guys. So remember, Traders Exchange tomorrow at 12:30. Let's make sure that we're taking what we see today, what we think today, and we've put our questions out there. Other than that, I will talk to everyone in the chat room. Happy trading.